Hello, hello. Welcome back, or something, words of those effects. Live chats are back for the autumn and winter. It's been a couple of years, I think, now since I have regularly done a live chat on a Sunday afternoon, but they're back. I'm aiming to do a regular live chat somewhere between either 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. I will wait and get some feedback from our Antipodean friends who will tell me whether this is too late or whether 3 o'clock is too late for them to be able to join us. Hi, Rebecca. Thank you for joining me. I feel quite nervous. It's such a long time since I've done a live chat. Now, I'm really sorry about the really bright lights just here. I will try and turn. I've got a tiny little corner. So our kitchen here is not at all like it was in our previous home, where it was a very big, very light, airy kitchen. It is quite a big kitchen. As yet, it's not very light and it's not very airy, but we'll get there. We will get there. And up to now, there's a fly. There's a fly that's going to land on me. Let's hope that's not. I think it's an ordinary fly because I heard it. And let's hope it's not a horse fly. I'm being harassed by flies already. So I've lost track already. Hi, Chrissy. Thanks for joining me. So it's not a really bright space. We don't have masses of room as yet at this end of the kitchen, but there is another chair here because Mr. Joe has said he will come and join me at some point. So I'm going to do just as I used to do with asking you where you are and what your weather is doing. Our weather is, especially looking at to confirm, our weather is cool, not cold, it's cool, but it's very damp. And I was going to go out and do some gardening this afternoon and film another video. And I thought, I'm not going out in the rain. I'm not taking my camera out in the rain for sure. So I thought I'd do a live chat instead, and it seemed like a good time to start back again. So there are 4 or 5 people watching. So do say hello so I know who else is here and I can say hello to you. That was an ordinary fly. It's now working its way. It's walking across the keyboard. How rude is that? Do you think I can get it? I don't think I'm going to be able to get it. If I suddenly type a load of rubbish, no, I didn't get it. Okay, so it's me and the fly. It's me and the fly. So I will wait and have a little look and see where you say you are. Rebecca, I've got a feeling you're elsewhere. Elsewhere. I think you've got a feeling you're abroad from here. And you'll say, gosh, the weather in south of Germany is kind of odd. Last night was warm. The night before was well below 10 degrees. And we finally had a bit of rain. Well, I'm glad you've had a bit of rain. Would you like some of ours? We seem to have had quite a lot of rain. We are looking forward to learning exactly how really heavy rain moves across this land. I know how gentle rain does, but there are a lot of rain gullies dug out. So not just little niches. These are 2 and 3 feet deep gullies carved out of the land to help take the water away. So I'm kind of anticipating there's going to be a lot of it. That fly is all you're going to see this afternoon is me like whizzing around with the fly. Helen's here. Hi, Helen. You're in Devon and weather's okay. You're watching me live and you're planting bulbs at the same time. That's nice. What bulbs are you planting? Chris is in Northants, 21 degrees and a light breeze, and it's wonderful. I don't know what the temperature actually is. I used to have a thing on my computer that told me the weather, and it would say it's going to stop raining. It would literally just write stopping raining or starting raining. But I switched it off because it actually just drove me nuts. I found it really distracting. I would be typing away and I'd see something move in the corner of the screen, and then I'd get distracted and go off down a wormhole of reading all sorts of other stuff that was entirely unnecessary. So let me, that thing that I usually do at the beginning where I then do hang on a minute, I haven't got myself organised. Well, I'm doing it now instead, which is okay because there's only like half a dozen of us here, 5, which is fine. Nice and quiet, and a gentle start to coming back to live chats. So this weekend it is Malvern Autumn Show, and I had planned to go. And then I sat and thought about it, and I looked at the news reports, and I thought, given the number of people that are likely to be there, and even though a lot of it is an outdoor event, that's still a lot of people coming from a lot of the parts of the country. And then added to that there is a petrol issue, and I don't know how it is right across the country, but locally, some of the petrol stations have either run out of petrol or they are rationing it. And I just thought, I know I've got quite a busy week ahead of me in terms of travelling, so I'm not going to use the petrol going to Malvern. So it will now be either the spring show or autumn next year before I get to go to Malvern, which is a shame. But the spring show has got lots of show gardens in it, and then the autumn show is much more veg. Well, from my point of view, it's more veg and local produce based. So wouldn't mind going to both next year. So Helen is planting snowdrops, daffodils and tulips. Nice. I have been looking at snowdrops and thinking, shall I plant snowdrops? And I thought this year I would wait and just see if any appeared. I'm not anticipating very much at all appearing anywhere across our new plot. For 13 years, it's been an equestrian site, so it will have been grazed right down to the ground for a very long time. And the owner was not a gardening-y person. She was very much an equestrian person. So I have a feeling there will be few things like crocuses or snowdrops or any of those, but I will just wait and see. What I do suspect is that there will be some out in the lane, so we might get to enjoy those rather than any inside. I don't mean inside the house, I mean inside our boundaries. And things like tulips, I don't know whether to plant any or not, because I know squirrels like to dig up bulbs. So I think if I'm going to plant them, I probably need to plant them and then put netting over the top. Bit like I've just done, right way down the kind of central runway, central track across our homestead. And I have put netting on it because of the rabbits. And I am going to plant daffodils on the outside of the run because I don't think the rabbits will eat them. As far as I understand, daffodils are poisonous to rabbits, so they're unlikely to eat them. And if they do eat them and they're poisonous to them, well, more fool them. I'm sure you can understand what I'm saying. So I am going to plant daffs, and I was thinking about tulips, and if I put them in there, they will be underneath the rabbit wire, in which case they should be safe. So we'll just have to, it's actually just such a long space. A bit of me feels like I don't want to plant all of that. I think once I've started, I need to go all the way down if I'm going to do it, because I think to do a section of it and then stop is going to look very odd. So I will need to spread all the bulbs out and then actually just get them all planted in one go. And I can see it be one of those days when Mr. J and I will not necessarily have nice words to say to each other by the end of the day. So So, I know what I was going to say is if you are a patron, which I think at least 2 of you are, if you've got questions for me that you'd like me to answer in the live chat, please put me a message through on Patreon. I will check the Patreon page before each live chat to see if there's any questions. I'll probably put a post up saying, I think I used to call it priority questions, so you know that I would answer any of those before, or I would check them and then answer them in the next live chat that I could. And occasionally, if there is a question that I think deserves more than just a response in a live chat, I'll then make a video to reply to it, just as I've done in the past. So Rebecca's saying 16 degrees where we are. It may say it's 16 degrees. I think the weather reports for our local area, I think the weather station is down in the village. When I say down, I mean down the bottom of the hill. And as you come from the village up to our homestead, the temperature noticeably drops between 2 and 3 degrees Celsius. So just in half a mile or so that it takes to come up the hill, it does drop quite dramatically. I'd forgotten when we're looking at this place. I had forgotten what it's like living at this altitude, because I've done this previously. I'd forgotten what the winters were like, as in we might get snowed in, and yeah, I'd forgotten what it was like living in a cloud. So yeah, so Rebecca's saying poor you. No, it's not too bad at all. It's just it will be something more like 13 or 14 here. And very often we're in a cloud. But the other thing that we have, which I'd also forgotten about and is just wonderful, is we go out in the morning and there is a mist, a heavy mist in the valley. In fact, the valleys probably would say it was a fog, and we're above it. So we're looking down and you can see the mountain beyond us, and then down in the valley it's all white with the mountain rising above it. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm really happy to just stand and stare at that for a long time. Hopefully I won't have to stand and stare at it for too long, because I reminded Mr. J last night that when we were moving, we didn't bring the old wooden bench just outside the kitchen, and his arm had rotten, and the legs were, well, one of the legs had been cut quite a bit shorter than the others by my dad. So when my parents passed away and we sold their house, I took the bench, not realising that my dad had cut one of the legs to fit in their garden where it was wobbly. So we kind of always wobbled on that bench a bit. And it was heavy, and it was kind of, I think I sat on it, I might have broken the middle bit off. It was really old. So we agreed that when we moved here, we would buy a new, good, sturdy garden bench. So I reminded him of that last night, and I'm hoping that in the next few days we will agree on a new garden bench and buy a garden bench and then put it sort of at the top of the food forest so that we can look down and out across the valley, which I think might be really nice. So look at this, it's so quiet. It is very lovely to do a live chat. It's so quiet. It's almost like doing a Patreon live chat where there are just a handful of us. So let me have a little look. One of the questions I was asked today on one of the groups on Facebook was about perennial veg and what perennial veg was I going to be growing here. So I thought, whilst I know what I've got at the moment, I thought I would pick your brains. So could you let me know if there are any perennial veg that you're growing that you particularly like, or any that you're growing that you just wouldn't bother with again, and I will pass that feedback on to the group that I was talking to. Can I hear him moving? No. I thought for a moment I could hear him moving around, heading his way down to say hello. So yes, if there are any perennial veg that you're particularly enjoying, or any that you particularly not going to grow again, or wish you hadn't planted, or any of those things, please leave them in the comments, and I can feed that back. So I've got some skirret, SKIRRET. Skirret, you eat the roots. It's also got a really pretty leaf and a very lovely flower, white flower that looks like it's a cow parsley type family flower, the same flower as carrots. And I have now grown it for 3 years, and I still haven't tasted it yet. So I grew it the first year, thought I'll leave it in the ground. I'll leave the roots in the ground to grow a bit bigger and harvest it the next year. Well, it all disintegrated during the winter. The roots just disappeared entirely. So I'm guessing they got frosted more than they could handle. And then a viewer called Kate very kindly came to visit and bought me 3 pots of skirret, 2 of which made it. I'm going to say 2. I think it might be all 3 of them have made it here. The rabbits have eaten it repeatedly, which is really irritating. But now they're in a rabbit-proof space. Then they are starting to grow again. So I'm hoping. I'm still not going to harvest it this year because I want to give it a chance to settle into the ground before I harvest it. So skirret is one of the ones I will be trying next year. So Rebecca says, when I say trying to eat, Rebecca says, I'm assuming asparagus, beans, rhubarb, perennial kale are a given. Remember that Nera de Toscana, or the Cavallonera kale that I took cuttings from? It didn't work, but the original plant grew back. Excellent. So I think there's an awful lot of plants that we grow as annuals that will keep going. Kales and lots of the brassicas will keep going. I think it's almost a case of just nipping out the flowers that they grow in the second year to keep them going. Alternatively, I'm sure, as you've seen Hugh has done, he leaves them to go to flower, and they look amazing, and they're great for pollinators. And I kind of think 2 years worth of space is worth it in that case. So that's the thing about perennial veg. I know that there will be other people who will watch this. They'll come back and watch it at a later moment. So if you wouldn't mind joining in with that as well, that would be great. I wanted to show you. So we've been here 12 weeks, 13 weeks. Is that all it is? It feels like a long time. I'm going to have to reach around behind me. So 13 weeks, and it's all elegant, this, isn't it? I finally got some wine started. So this is an elderberry wine, and not elderberries I've picked this year, but last year we had such a good harvest of elderberries. I just picked as many as I could, and rather than just throwing them in the freezer, I actually extracted the juices from them and froze the juices. So this is made like the orange juice that you get, not from concentrate, but it is from frozen juices, which I just allowed to defrost naturally, and then added water to it and made it in the normal way. So it's quite happily fermenting away. I do need to top it up because I didn't top it up completely in that first bit, expecting it to kind of explode out the top. It hasn't done, so I can now top this up to the top of the neck. And I'm very pleased. I've done 2 demi-johns of that. Oh, and I'm just putting it down on the floor right in front of the cat flap. I don't think Monty would be terribly impressed with that. me stopping him from coming in and out with some wine. So it is starting to feel like we are getting back to our normal rhythm. Excuse me, back to our normal rhythm of things. I'm doing lots of cooking, winemaking. I'm also doing a lot of decorating, which I didn't do at all in our last house. So we moved into our previous house, and it had all just been renovated and decorated, and it really needed nothing doing to it other than I chose to change the sink unit in the bathroom for one that I had bought many years beforehand. And we've now left that there because it was way too big and heavy to bring with us. This house is a complete contrast. This needs a large amount of renovation, and certainly needs decorating from head to toe. And the kitchen in particular needed a lot of TLC, and we spent the first month thinking, we don't like it in here. We really don't like it in here. But in the last 3 weeks, we've made quite a lot of changes in the kitchen, and it will be a very, very long time before we can, if ever, can afford a new kitchen units or anything. And the ones that are in here are certainly not to our taste. But I have been working really hard on making it a bit lighter in here. So the house is almost, it's not quite subterranean, but it is on 3 sides. The ground level is sort of here, and it's only behind me where it's lower down, and is level with the floor effectively. So when we go out of the back door, we have to go up steps to get into the yard. But it makes the house quite dark, and there are also very tiny windows, tiny weeny little cottage windows. And when I say tiny weeny, I really do mean it. So the biggest window in the house is 120 centimetres by 70 centimetres. But that's not the size of the pane of glass. That's the size of the opening in the wall. So by the time you've taken out the window frame and then the frame for the opening bit, it actually makes it really small. It makes it really small. So Andy's here. Hi, Andy. Thank you for dropping in. Andy is here, has dropped in from Spain. He's at a barbecue, he said. So, okay, so he's saying hi over on the group, but he can't comment here for some reason. Occasionally, Andy, that is if you're looking on if you're using a tablet, sometimes it won't allow you to comment. I don't know why, but thank you for joining us. And the weather is 30 degrees. Okay, so I'm only a little bit envious. I did see when he said he was having a barbecue, I was thinking, wouldn't be having a barbecue here. So yes, so I've been doing lots of work in the kitchen to make it brighter, including painting the ceiling. I haven't completed that yet, but I have started. When we moved in, the kitchen ceiling was quite dark and wasn't reflecting much light around it at all. So, so I'm very pleased that it's beginning to feel more bright and airy. And we have already talked about having a skylight put in so that we can have exactly as we had in the last place, where when the sun gets bright enough, anyone doing a live chat then kind of disappears into this angelic haze because the light is at an odd angle. I'm going to just, excuse me while I shout like a fishwife. I'm just going to go and shout at him and see if he wants to come and join us. It's not very interesting to look at, is it? Darling, you come and join us? Okay, sorry, blank wall, seriously not interesting to look at all. So, Andy, I'm really sorry that you can't comment. We'll have to find a better way. We'll have to try your phone or next time, because this is now going to be a regular live chat. Perhaps next time you'll be in front of your computer and then you'll be able to join in with the chat a little bit more It's very nice. Look, I'm looking at this, and there's still only 5 people watching, which means that it is blissfully quiet. That's because everybody is at Malvern, or they're busy out in their garden. And hopefully next week there will be a few more people joining us. So Mr. J is upstairs. He is on his way down. He has been sorting out some of his radio stuff. If you're not familiar, and I'm sure you already are, but if you're not familiar with this already, he does 2 radio shows a week on various different stations. And one of those is an album chart show. So he looks back over previous years at what was in the album charts then. And he's just told me that the week coming up in the show, in the week coming up, the year 1975 and 1981, which I think were great years for music. Well, maybe not 1975, but there were some really good songs. But 1981, I loved. Musically, I loved it. Maybe that was about being in my late teens and things. So, okay. I'm just going to read what Rebecca says. She's enjoying the peace and quiet in this live chat. I've been moderating nightly live chats for my partner for weeks now, and they're just crazy. There is something actually really nice, and there is something quite calming about having a quiet, slow live chat. But I also quite like craziness on the days when it is. So Andy, try following the link from Facebook and opening up in the YouTube app and not on internet web pages. That's what Helen says. So there you go. Try opening it up in a YouTube app and not in internet web pages. That might work. That would be kind of nice. Alternatively, he might have already headed back to the barbecue. So there we go. So I'm waiting for him to pop down and say hello. I'm not going to do a full hour chatting today. It is very quiet. And also, I think I need to get back into the swing of doing live chats in the afternoon again. But I will definitely be doing a live chat next week. And then I aim from then onwards to be doing them weekly. I hear him coming down the stairs. So he will come and say hello. Oh no, perhaps that wasn't the stairs. Maybe he was just moving around. The house is actually, I keep saying it's small. It's not really a small house. It just has few rooms in it. Fewer rooms than our last house. So it means that we can usually hear what each other's doing. And he's on his way. He's on his way. Here he is. He's going to fly in and say hello. Watch out for the cables, yeah.
That wasn't the cables I was worrying about.
What was it?
It was my replacement bottle of
Oh, we know your bottle? Yeah. Like a bottle of wine is not your replacement.
Oh, isn't it? Oh,
no.
Okay.
So it's very quiet, and I was just saying, I'm not going to do a full hour this time.
No.
But next week.
Well, you're trying to remember how to play everything in this week, aren't you?
So yes, I was saying about your radio shows.
Yeah.
Good years, 75 was fairly good, but 81 I loved.
There was a very interesting album at number 2, went straight in the chart this week in 1975. One of the all-time classics. I'm not saying anymore, I'm just in the program.
I know, but I won't. Yes, I will write it down.
Well, you write it down and I'll tell you whether you're right or wrong. Thank you, Rebecca. Rebecca listens while she's weeding. Some people listen while they're reading. Well, that's not actually an album.
No, but is that the album that it's on?
No.
Oh. See, I was wrong.
That was 1976.
Oh, was it? I thought it was 75 going into 76.
Mm-hmm.
No?
Well, it might have been, but anyway.
I don't mind being wrong.
That's good.
So Andy
well.
has been trying to... Oh, Andy's saying it's unlisted on YouTube. Why is it unlisted? It's saying it's live.
Yes. Hang on a minute. Oh.
That would explain why it's quiet if it is actually unlisted.
Have you forgotten to press a button?
No, I said go
Okay,
live.
here we go. View channel.
Oh,
It looks like it's unlisted.
how do I make it listed then?
I don't know.
Right, bear with me.
But,
Bear with me, folks. I'm going to go on to.
And because it's unlisted, I can't actually monitor what you're doing now, so that's right.
No, well, I'll tell you what. You carry on talking for a second.
Yes.
Tell them how your week has been, and I will see if I can make this.
It's been.
It is saying it's live.
But it says unlisted.
Oh.
Where it says listed and unlisted.
How about making it public then?
If you make it public, then everyone will be able to see it. Now, if you go, now you see, all of a sudden, my phone will probably bleep at me and say that there's something happening.
Oh.
There we go. Oh, look, live chats are back. 6 watching.
Oh well, then I'm being then dim. I will write this down so that I.
Yeah, okay. No, it wasn't that album either. It wasn't that album either.
Okay.
I think that was 1977.
So apparently I hadn't switched it to.
She's a worry, isn't she?
I didn't know how to. I pressed the button that said go live, so
yeah,
I
but
did.
You see, you've done all your pre. Yes, it's because you do certain things unlisted and certain things listed.
I know, but I didn't know. I honestly, anyway. So that was a failure. In that case, perhaps someone else will join us now.
Hello, Chrissy.
So anyway, we're being told I did it wrong.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, that's okay. Andy's here now. He's found us. So my chatter for the last half an hour was a nice private chat with just like 3 or 4 people who had found the link.
From where I was, it sounded like you were doing what you normally do, sitting talking to yourself or the cat. And I love the fact. I love it when she says I'm just sitting talking to the cat. I've just been sitting to you. Can't have been because he was with me.
Can we swap places?
No, because I
Please.
might disappear again.
Well, that's fine, but I just need to go and get a quick drink.
Oh, okay. That's different.
Yeah, that's right.
What we need is these.
What we need is there's slightly more space in the kitchen.
Or we need these Star Trek style transporter doodahs, so that when you want to go somewhere, you can just transpond your atoms from one place to another. Although they can cause molecule damage, I believe.
Oh, you come back as a triple.
No, that's all sorts of different trouble. I can't actually see a thing, by the way, so I apologise if I'm ignoring any comments.
No glasses.
I haven't got my glasses, and there's this tiny little bit of text, sort of somewhere over there.
Oh, it's okay. I'll sort that in 2 seconds.
But it's a great way to see where your audience is. Hi, Tony. Now, if I might be able to do it if I press. If I start doing that, we're going to get interference, which is never a good thing.
No.
Yes, I wasn't actually expecting to be here for this long.
That's okay. I'm back now.
Doing 12 things at once.
I'm back now. So, hello, people who've joined us in the last few minutes. I've been having a very, very lovely live chat with Helen and Rebecca and Chrissy, and saying how lovely it was. It was very quiet. And then it was just pointed out to me that I haven't actually switched the live chat to public on YouTube, so no one else had found us.
But now you have.
Now you have. So welcome. So should we do all of that all over again? I wasn't going to do a very long live chat, but I ought to.
Don't do it all over again.
Oh, well, Rebecca and Chrissy.
But I was going to say that if someone has come in now, they can always watch the first half later. We don't have to rewind it and start it again now.
Well, no, that's true. But the people who have just come in, so hi, Tony, and Chris, and I can't read either without my
You've
glasses.
got your glasses here, I haven't.
There we go. So, Ballysillian allotment man, Pete, Missouri girl, Barbara, Anna. Hello. So, anybody who's just joined us, I'm really sorry. It appeared that I was very, very late. I wasn't. I've been chuntering away for.
But you were
Hey,
very
look,
late.
we've done that thing. We've
You've done
managed
with
to
your-
get the angle again.
You've done that. You were late with your button pushing.
I was late with my button pushing, but we've managed to do it so that I look 3 times the size
No,
of
that's
you.
because I'm shoved back in a corner.
Yes, it's not. He's not really 3 times, smaller than me. Yeah. And Joe's here as well. Hiya, Joe. So I was saying to people earlier on, where are you and what's your weather doing? Naomi's here. Hiya. Rose is here. Hello. Suburban Hillbillies here. Hiya. What are we looking at?
I'm in the kitchen and it's miserable.
It is. It's been raining. It was raining.
Mm.
It was raining. So I've put this very natty.
I was going to say that wasn't there when I went upstairs.
No, well, I put it up to try and stop some of the glare because I was getting that thing where half of me was washed out. But I was saying that the kitchen has not been very bright and cheery up to now.
No, it's getting brighter.
It's getting brighter, and I was saying when we eventually get a skylight put in, we'll get that thing where the light will make one of us disappear.
We actually had something unusual happen today. We had some sunshine coming through the window. It was so strong. I was thinking we need curtains.
It doesn't happen very often.
Well, it hasn't happened since we've lived here.
No. I'm about to go and harvest my squashes. I haven't crawled in the pumpkin patch yet, so it's going to be a surprise. Do you have good harvest this year? So, well, there are going to be at least 2 squashes. I am surprised at having only been here for
12, 13 weeks.
We've got a couple of really huge, what are they, blue Hubbard squashes. And I will do a video I will film a video in the next week or so showing you what we have got growing in the veg garden, because I didn't think there'd be very much, but it's not growing.
No, bits of it seem to be going quite well.
Yeah. So, for a new start. Pete's saying his tomatoes are finally going red. I'll tell you what I'm going to do this, and then the chat will be bigger and nearer, and we'll be able to see it. This is the same old thing that I usually do at the beginning of the live chat.
I know.
Can you see it at all?
Don't worry about it.
There we go. I can see it. That's better, isn't it? Yeah. So Tony is stripping the tunnel at the moment, getting ready for autumn and winter stuff going in. Naomi's, I'm getting good at making green tomato chutney and pickle. Rose is saying she's been here a year this weekend and she still hasn't unpacked. Well, we were at the last place for 5.5 years.
No, we brought some stuff with us that is in the same box as it was in when we moved in. This is, though, to be fair, mainly stuff that we've got to go through from deceased parents, isn't it?
Yeah, but, it's still, so we are very much boxes all around us.
Yeah, in many ways, it still feels like we're camping.
Yes.
And if you've seen any of the comments we've made on video about renovations and the like, I think it's going to be like that for a while because there's so many odds and ends that they're dealing with. And until they're all dealt with, certain things are going to stay in boxes.
Yes, and I think until the major bits have been done, hopefully in a couple of weeks' time.
Yes. Well, one of the major bits.
Yes. So Magpie Farm. Hi Liz, I hope you're having a great day from sunny Poland. Well, it's sunny in Poland. It's better than it is here then. It's miserable, isn't it?
Yeah, we could be worse.
Oh, it could be. It's not windy. Tracy, hi from my hot tub in the rain in Belgium. Nancy's here. Hello.
Wouldn't being in a hot tub in the rain, isn't that slightly counterproductive? Because you've got the hot water in you and then the cold water coming in.
That'd be quite nice.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Like
Unless you've got an umbrella, sort of an umbrella over your hot tub.
What do I do with that drink?
I don't know.
Can you reach it around there?
Oh, that drink.
Yeah. Went off and got a drink and put it down out of reach. Thank you.
That's because you're a twit.
Yes.
Have a drink, Matt.
Oh, thank you. Anya's here. Hi, Anya. How are you? Is it raining? Is it raining in Ireland?
Probably.
Were you yawning then?
I might.
It's like we do a Patreon chat about once a month-ish. And that's usually in the evenings, isn't it? And we spend half the time stifling yawns, not because we're bored, but because we're just constantly tired. I think. Don't you? Yeah. We have been pretty tired since we've been here. We were pretty tired in the run-up, weren't we?
Mm.
I think we were pretty stressed in the run-up. And I think it's going to take a while for that to dissipate.
Yeah.
That's a good word. That's a big word for me as well.
That's a very good word.
So Naomi's, I still boxes to unpack. Unusual for me, but until rooms are sorted and renovated, I can't. Still managed to make blackberry wine though. Okay, so let's get the wine out again. Rebecca, Chrissy, Helen, I'm really sorry because I've already seen this. Here is
the first of this year's new wine from last year's harvest.
Yes.
Harvested at our old place. The elderberries were then if I recall correctly, you juiced them and froze the juice. Is that right?
Yep. Yep.
See, I wasn't down here for any of this. I had headphones on, but I still know what she's talking about. So
I froze enough for 11 demi-tons.
Oh, good.
Because I think it's going to be quite some time before we have a decent harvest of elderberries.
Oh, yeah. Well, then we've got some young elder. There actually were some in the hedgerow.
There were a few in the hedgerows. I'll tell you what there is in the hedgerows is masses of hawthorn halls. So we ought to be able to make, I know you can use it to make syrup and I can make it jelly. So you should be able to make wine out of it as well.
Okay.
So we'll give that a go.
I thought you were going to say sparrows then.
I'm not a sparrow wine. That would be horrid. So Rose is saying you've got your tushes off. Rebecca's saying each passing year I get tired so easily now. Yes. I do. I seem to get tired more than I did, don't you? Okay, so now Mr. J is being irritated by the fly. So anybody who's joined us since it was switched live on YouTube rather than elsewhere. At the beginning, it was like, there's a fly walking across this keyboard. So anybody watching on the replay, it's going to be really funny because they're going to have half an hour of me just saying how irritating it is and how it's just quiet, just a few of us chatting. So Anya's saying, no, hang on, let's do. Hi, Skippy, welcome. Tracy's saying I made strawberry and apple wine this year. Nice. Any tips on planting tulips? I've got 100 bulbs in the Netherlands during the week. So all I know about tulips is that you need twice the depth. So if they're 1.5 inches high, you need at least 3 inches above the top of the tulip. I do know that Sarah at the half acre farm, I think it is, and it's a flower farm. She makes raised beds, tips the tulip bulbs onto the ground, sets them upright, and then just pours compost over the top of them to a good depth, rather than creating a hole and planting them. So she actually does them in a raised bed, so she doesn't have to dig a hole for each one. Tony's saying good drainage for tulips. Yeah. Heather, hi from California. I love your book. Thank you very much. Cheers, Rose. She's got to run. So I've had some really nice feedback about the book in the last couple of weeks, haven't I?
Yeah.
There's had a couple of really nice messages from people. I mean, like extra nice. And so I'm going to do it. So I suspect many of you know, I wrote a book. Here it is. So this was published in February, and you can put it down now. You can. He's gonna hide a yawn first. So yeah, the book was out in February. I was absolutely delighted. It was our publisher's fastest selling title in the 31 years that they've been publishing. So it hasn't sold the most, because there are books that have been out for a very long time that have sold more. But in terms of how quickly it's sold, they were very pleased, and I'm delighted. So if you bought that, thank you very much.
And if you haven't, please do.
Tracy's saying she really wants a book, but after Brexit we have to pay €40 in tax.
Oh, for goodness sake, really?
Message me, Tracy. Let's see if we can. Well, maybe you can't. Maybe you just have to pay the tax, and that's it. I do know that when we send them to Sweden, there's a huge amount of tax to pay.
Yes.
So, let's have a look.
I'm trying to think what the international well-known formerly bookseller that now sells everything, because they've got it in Europe, but I'm not sure which countries in Europe they have offices these days.
Oh, right. Well, there's a thought. They've certainly got it in Germany, so I wonder if you can buy it from Germany, or whether you still have to pay import tax once it's there.
I thought not between EU countries, I don't think. Unless there's different rates of VAT on books, which it could be.
It could be, who knows. Magpie Farm. By the way, Liz, we replicated the no-till strawberry and garlic bed. Let's see how it does over here in Poland. We're recording it to, hang on, stretch that, to view against yours.
All right.
So
the International Strawberry Garlic Challenge.
Joe's saying we have to fence tulips to keep it from deer nibbling the blooms. Deer are a nuisance.
We haven't got any of those here at the moment.
Yet. Tracy's going to say, I'm going to see if one of my girls can bring one over. Oh, that's a good idea. Magpie Farm saying no import tax between EU countries. Anya says, I've been ordering from that site via the German site and having it delivered to Ireland.
Right.
So,
yeah, well, I know from delivering from that site that quite a lot of stuff still come through from their European arms. Although I think it comes through somewhere like Luxembourg, so there's all sorts of shenanigans going on there.
Bertie Bear is saying, I cannot get strawberries to grow here in southwest England. Are they going mouldy? Is it too damp? Is it too dry? What's your issue with your strawberries? I know we have to pause while we get an answer.
But Waterstones, I think Waterstones did have copies of the book in the UK, but I'm sure they did.
I'm sure they did.
I seem to recall someone messaging and saying that they bought.
Okay, so if the plants are going mouldy, you probably need to start with some fresh plants and raise them up a little bit. So grow them on a little mound and keep them spaced fairly well apart, so there's plenty of room for air to flow around them. If they're getting mouldy, it's going to be too much moisture too much moisture around them. I get lots of leaves, and then I bet I would say, we'll replant. So there is a mold or a fungus. No, it's a mold, I think. Tony, do you know if you're still here, what's the name of that mold that strawberries get that I never remember the name of? There's a fungal thingy that they get. Anyway, it will be about
Strawberry fungus forever, isn't it?
it will be about them not having enough air around them. So, are you looking it up?
No, I wasn't.
All right.
I was shutting something else up that was about to go beep.
Oh, yeah, you don't want things going beep. Thank you, Stephen. Hello, Stephen. So yes, that's what that will be about. That would be my would be my guess. I tried growing strawberries in planters. The time that we've done best for them is when the bed comes up from the ground and goes down, and we plant in the top so that water can drain away.
Good luck with the shift, Tony.
Thank you. Oh, you've got work tonight. Yes, good luck. Hope everything goes okay with that. And what a point. I hope that you can just sit and watch a bit of telly and do a bit of work and not get called out. So, just in case, so that probably doesn't make sense for most people. So just in case you don't know, Tony from Simplified Gardening is a firefighter. So the hoping for him not to get called out obviously means that's because then there's not a fire or an accident.
Or a cat up a tree.
Or a cat up a tree. Bertie was saying there's a little beetle that becomes maggot-like. So that is, we were talking about these the other day. Oh, why is my brain gone, Dad?
Because you couldn't find the right charger for it.
My brain's gone blank. I do know exactly what you're talking about. Someone else will name that little beetle, and then its larvae eat all the roots of plants.
Just like a weevil of some description.
It is a vine weevil. You are wonderful. Well
Thank you.
done. So it's a vine weevil that does that.
Ah, yes. It's a radio program on Radio 2 every day as well.
Look at Anna's offering a copy of my book because she's read it 3 times. Good grief. That was keen. Anna, thank you.
That's more than you've read it.
It's probably more than I've read it. Yes, it is. Yeah, but I wrote it. And before that, I lived it.
Ah, right.
I think if you lived it.
But I do notice you dipping back into it periodically to find out what we did.
Yes.
And what happened.
I do. And I often use it to remember when we did something. Was it this year? One of the things I did this morning, before it was light, so I thought, right, what am I going to do? Is I had a look back at the videos that I've made this time of year and in the last 3 or 4 years. And the one from 2018 was, I don't know, that seems like a long time ago now, doesn't it?
2018, that's 3 years ago.
Back in the mists of time. And that's exactly what it was. It was a very misty morning. I will put it up on my Facebook group and also on the community page on YouTube afterwards. It was just a lovely little video of watching the mist. I don't know if it was mist or fog, but whichever it was, watching that dissipate. I'm going to use that word twice today, and just looking at some of the dew on the plants and on cobwebs and things like that. It was very nice. It was one of my
much nicer than getting a cobweb in the face.
Yes, it was one of my arty ones. Yeah. So, right, my tummy's rumbling. Do we think it's near lunchtime?
It could well be. I mean, it's nearly 3 o'clock.
It is nearly 3. Hi, Joanne. I grew pole lima beans for the first time, and had beautiful vines almost took over the garden, but not one bean. I would have thought if it may well be that there wasn't enough moisture at the roots at the time they were forming the flowers, and therefore they got flower drop, which will stop you getting any beans. I've done that before. I've had that situation before. So it's 5 to 3. I promise next week's live chat I will learn very rapidly to make sure that I have actually set it as public when I start it, rather than half an hour or so into it. And so I hope you'll join me next week. Heather, I have just posted my video of what to sow in October. So I've just put out a reminder about that. So please do catch up with that, and you'll see what's planting in October. Tracy just says, are you getting chickens and turkeys again? Not this year.
Not this year, possibly at some point in the future.
I'm going to call it a day, and then I'll be back. I will be back to take a live chat. You probably won't be here next week.
Quite possibly not. No.
And so, wherever you are in the world, and whatever you've got planned for the day, I hope it's a good one. I also hope you'll join me in a video during the week. You'll have a video during the week.
Well, I've got a snippet video.
I've got a snippet video during the week, and we'll be back for a live chat next Sunday. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Now I have to do that thing quick where we work out how to switch it all off.